My name is Carl Anthony with AutoSens. For more great AutoSens content, you can always follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube. And today we are excited to speak with Paula Finnegan Jones. Now, Paula is the managing director of the U.S. office for Ibeo Automotive Systems. She joins us here today in advance of the Detroit conference. Paula, welcome today to AutoSens.
Thank you, Carl. I'm happy to be here.
So give us an overview of Ibeo Automotive Systems. For our viewers who may not be familiar with what you do, give us an overview of the company. Let's start there.
Great, thank you. Yes, Ibeo Automotive Systems is headquartered in Hamburg, Germany. We've been around for over 20 years, founded in 1998, which is quite a long time ago for a LiDAR company. The founders are still together to this day.
Wow.
So they focused really on automotive and mobility applications for LiDAR. We've been recognized as one of the top 100 most innovative companies in Germany for 3 of the 4 last years. So we really pride ourselves on technology and innovation.
Of course. So you mentioned, 1998. So that's, well over 2 decades that you've been in the LiDAR market. Obviously, LiDAR is a huge topic of conversation right now in automotive. But Paula, from your perspective, what separates Ibeo from the rest of the competition out there?
So again, based on, building on our over 20 years of experience, we've been through many generations of LiDAR development, including the founders participating in the early DARPA challenges. We've also worked with a partner, Vallejo, in launching the very first LiDAR for automotive application, which was the Audi Scala product. And so we've really built on these, as you said, decades of experience to land on what we think is really the winning direction or winning technology for automotive applications, which is a fully solid state digital LiDAR to meet both the performance requirements for automotive as well as the cost targets that we all know is a really important feature for any part to make it into a vehicle.
Of course. So the big news for you right now is something called Ibeo Next, and Next is all capitalized, NEXT. So what is Ibeo Next, Paula? Give us an overview of that.
Yeah, this is the name of our product. It's really a platform, if you will. It's a fully digital, fully solid state LiDAR. And it's modular in its design. So if you think about an old 35 millimeter camera where you put a different lens on the front of the camera to change your perspective, if you want a wide field of view or a narrow field of view, you can do that with a sensor. It keeps we recognize economies of scale by building a product like this. So at the time of manufacturing, you can decide which sort of use case you have, what kind of lens to put on the sensor. So that's one of the main features of the product as well. It's based on CMOS technology, so it's solid state. So CMOS is a more let's say effective way to make it into a vehicle as well. The sensor is fully digital, like I said, so the output is already in a format. We don't have to do an analog to digital conversion. We create digital histograms based on photon counting. And this approach also allows us to recognize and use digital signal processing for improvements with signal to noise ratio, which makes for a cleaner point cloud, as well as better performance in inclement weather conditions like fog and snow and rain. So these are some of the advantages to taking this approach to LiDAR for automotive and mobility applications.
Of course. So just a couple of minutes ago, Paula, I asked you, just how Ibeo Automotive Systems is different than the competition. So now same question, but for Ibeo Next, how does that differ from the various other LiDAR platforms that are on the market? And what is your strength for your customers with the Ibeo Next program?
Yeah, so some of the lessons learned that we have realized from doing a vehicle integration, as far as being very robust and having high yields for the manufacturing process is really important. And I think the nature of this technology allows for us to realize those things. So that is really important. So we have this safety built into it. We've worked with our automotive manufacturing partners, ZF, to be able to build these sensors at large quantities, mass produced. And yeah, we've really, I think, hit the sweet spot between understanding what's required for performance and safety and all those things, as well as recognizing the cost targets. So I think that's a real, like, building the right part for the right application, designing the
Yes.
right part for the right application. I think that's where we land here.
Yeah, and that's always exciting to see that come together. Paula, and you mentioned a couple of really good keywords just a few minutes ago as well: solid state and modular. So, for your customers, why are things like solid state and modular? Why are those aspects important for your customers?
So solid state again, absolutely no moving parts on a vehicle. That's really critical, as well as low cost to manufacture a solid state part. So when you introduce moving parts, when you introduce, mechanical components like that, it makes for both higher costs and lower reliability. So that's really critical. And the other thing about modularity is, we're in a new technology, new space.
Mhm.
So not knowing exactly what to build for your customers allows us more flexibility in entering into a lot of different kinds of use cases. So if it's a 360-degree urban taxi situation, or if it's a long range highway pilot or commute pilot application, we're able to use the same base technology and apply it in those situations.
There is an excellent video on your YouTube channel. I want to encourage all of our AutoSense attendees and our viewers to follow Ibeo Automotive Systems on YouTube. But the feature video that you have up there talks about mobility, talks about, that you need to have safe mobility in good weather, in bad weather. But there's one part near the end of the video that I just love. I wanted to pick your brain on it. It talks about how that when a future generation buys a vehicle, they have to trust the vehicle. So, from your perspective and from your vantage point, and speaking specifically to that video that's on your YouTube page, why is it important for future consumers to have to trust their vehicles? And how then does Ibeo Automotive Systems help facilitate that trust?
Yes, that is a very important point, and it's in Abeo's key message points to our employees and our customers is that safety is utmost important to us. It's one of the reasons that the founders are in this business. So yes, consumers need to trust the vehicle. They need to trust the features that they're planning to use. So things like redundancy and very solid safety analysis, safety case analysis. These are all embedded into our DNA within Ibeo, right? So we take this very seriously, and our engineers are very, energetic and focused on delivering a part that can be trusted by the consumer and by the
Right.
end user.
So, Paula, for our viewers and listeners, if they're curious to learn more, how can they go about contacting you? What is the best way to learn more information?
For sure. Please visit us on our website. It's ibeo-as.com. There's plenty of ways for you to reach out to us on that website, and I'll be at the show myself. So I look forward to meeting the folks who are attending the AutoSense show.
Yeah, and of course, and so you're going to be here in Detroit. We're both Detroit natives. We're both here in Detroit, almost neighbors practically. But you're coming to the Michigan Science Center for AutoSense Detroit 2022. What will you be showcasing for our attendees? What can they see when they come up to your display?
Yeah, we'll have the product there. We have this product in B-level sample, which means we're very close to production, which is scheduled for the end of this year. So you'll be able to see a very near to SOP start of production product, as well as a live demonstration of the point cloud on the floor.
Awesome. And then last question, Paula, just because I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I want to pick your brain here. One last question. Of all the challenges that are, ahead of us as far as ADAS and autonomy and things like that, what are, from your vantage point, what are some of the biggest challenges you see right now that we still need to tackle as an industry?
So that's a this conversation can go on for a long time. I mean, I've heard experts say that perception is one of the key points, and I'm glad
Mhm.
that we're working on that to really open up the window. Um, I think the use cases will have to be, in a way, I don't know if it means if it's on a dedicated course or it's a dedicated application where it's perhaps a small in scope to start, but really gives consumers and people the understanding of how this will work. I personally look forward to my retirement years where I'm not going to be driving a car. So I think that there's going to be some great advantages to that and benefits to that when we reach that. But I do think there's going to be some steps and some incremental improvements to get us to that point.
Paula, from all of us here at AutoSense, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise and your thought leadership. And we will look forward to seeing you in just a short time here in Detroit at the Michigan Science Center for AutoSense 2022. Thank you for being with
Great.
us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For more AutoSense, follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn. And be sure to follow Ibeo Automotive Systems as well by visiting their website and following them on LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm Carl Anthony for AutoSense.